One sunny morning, a young boy named Leo woke up with a bounce in his step. Downstairs, the birds chirped their usual sweet song as breakfast aromas wafted through the air. Leo quickly got ready for another exciting day of summer when something odd caught his eye. A glint from his bedroom mirror was more dazzling than usual. As he drew closer to the mirror, Leo noticed his own reflection greeted him with a bright, wide smile, a reflection that waved eagerly back at him. But Leo hadn't moved at all. "At your service, Leo," chimed his reflection cheerfully, as if mirrors were supposed to be chatty companions on a whim. "What would you like to do today?" Leo was both thrilled and curious. A talking reflection? Mom and Dad had always told him about how reflections were just bouncy copies, not partners on whims. But now, he was face to face with his very own mirror twin, who seemed pretty keen on fun. "What can you do?" Leo asked, his eyes gleaming with curiosity. "Oh, many things. I can show you the world upside down, make you look like a wizard, or..." The reflection paused. "We could step into a secret world of our own, just for a day." With a heartbeat filled with excitement, Leo nodded. The reflection offered him a friendly hand through the glass. Hesitant yet adventurous, Leo took it. A pleasant shiver surged through him, as if he was stepping through a cascade of gentle sparkles. He found himself on the other side, in a world where colors were more vibrant. Everything felt a bit more magical. Grass whispered his name, and clouds playfully chased each other. "Welcome to Mirrorland," his reflection echoed, this time standing beside him as a living twin. They laughed, explored leafy mazes, dined on shimmering sugar plums, and had races with the sun. As the day began to wane, and the horizon painted itself in sleepy hues, Leo knew it was time to return. He thanked his warm-hearted reflection and stepped back through the mirror, waving goodbye. Back in his room, everything seemed wonderfully ordinary again. Leo looked at his reflection and smiled, knowing that it would always be more than just a reflection now, an invitation to adventure, a simple wave away. And each morning after, whenever the sun hit just right, Leo would grin at the mirror, awaiting to see if that twinkling glint would return, leading him back to where dreams held hands with reality. Once upon a time, in a sleepy little village nestled between misty mountains, lived a curious young boy named Toby. Among the villagers, Toby was known for his shimmering blue eyes that seemed to hold a spark of adventure. One evening, as a gentle moon cast its silvery glow over the rooftops, Toby stepped into his grandfather's musty attic. It was a treasure trove of forgotten memories and unknown wonders. His fingers lightly danced over dusty books, ancient relics, and peculiar artifacts until something caught his eye, a tarnished mirror leaning against the wall. It was old, much older than anything Toby ever saw, with intricate carvings of stars and moons on its frame. Intrigued, he wiped away the dust, revealing a clear reflection. As Toby gazed into the mirror, lost in thought, something peculiar happened. Just as he turned to leave, the reflection in the mirror blinked. Startled, Toby rubbed his eyes and peered into the mirror again. There it was, his own reflection smiling mischievously, waving at him. Every time Toby blinked, the reflection would move or make funny faces, always one step ahead. "I must be dreaming," Toby whispered to himself, yet he felt wide awake. His heart raced, half from fear and half with the thrill of discovery. Curiosity got the better of him, and Toby decided to play along. He began to wave, jump, and twirl. The reflection followed, mimicking his moves with joyful exuberance. Then it did something unexpected. It gestured towards the back of the mirror, as if urging Toby to come closer. Fueled by curiosity, Toby approached the mirror, pressing his hand against the cool glass. To his amazement, the mirror shimmered like a doorway made of liquid silver. Tentatively, Toby stepped through, finding himself in a new world, a mirror image of his own but filled with fantastic creatures and shimmering trees. There he met other reflections who explained that their realm was connected to the thoughts and imaginations of those in the real world. Toby learned that only those with pure hearts and adventurous spirits, like his own, could access this wondrous place. Toby spent what felt like days exploring the mirror's realm, befriending talking animals and walking on clouds. When it was time to return, his reflection waved goodbye, ensuring him that he could visit any time the moon lit the sky just right. Back in his grandfather's attic, Toby smiled, knowing the magical world was always just a blink away, waiting patiently for his return. Once upon a time, in a quaint little village surrounded by lush green forests and shimmering streams, lived a curious little girl named Lily. Lily had twinkling blue eyes and a mane of golden curls that bounced as she skipped along her favorite path to the whispering woodland. One sunny afternoon, as she was exploring the woods, she stumbled upon an old, forgotten cottage hidden behind a veil of ivy. Fascinated, Lily pushed open the heavy wooden door and stepped inside. It was dim and dusty, and everything seemed to be coated in a fine layer of time. In the corner of the main room stood an enormous, ornate mirror, its surface covered with a thick film of age and mystery. Driven by her unyielding curiosity, Lily dusted off the mirror with her small hands until its full, sparkling surface appeared, capturing the light like a pocket of stars. As she moved to stand in front of the mirror, something very peculiar happened. Lily noticed that her reflection was not exactly copying her movements. When she waved her hand, the mirror Lily hesitated a moment before waving back. When Lily giggled and winked, the other Lily gave a thoughtful smile, as if contemplating. "Who are you?" whispered Lily, more to herself than to anyone else. To her astonishment, her reflection answered, "I am you, but from a place where things are just a little different." Suddenly, with a shimmering ripple, the reflection in the mirror stepped out and stood right in front of her. Lily was awestruck but not frightened. The reflection looked exactly like her, just with eyes that seemed deeper somehow, filled with stories untold. "Would you like to see my world?" asked the reflection, extending her hand. Lily nodded, her heart racing with excitement. As she took the hand of her mirrored self, the room seemed to dissolve into a whirl of colors and shapes until they found themselves in a world so similar, yet so wonderfully unfamiliar. In this world, trees whispered secrets, animals spoke in rhymes, and every pebble had a story to share. Lily and her reflection laughed and explored, discovering lands where clouds floated close enough to touch and rainbows painted the skies day and night. After what felt like days of adventure and joy, it was time for Lily to return. Her reflection led her back to the mirror. "Come visit again," her reflection said, as they exchanged a warm hug. With another shimmering ripple, Lily found herself back in the dim, dusty room of the old cottage, the mirror now silent and still. But she knew the magic was real and that somewhere, her reflection was waiting for their next adventure. Once upon a time, in a beautiful meadow filled with flowers and butterflies, there lived a small, fluffy rabbit named Leo. Leo had fluffy, sparkling white fur, and his little nose twitched cheerfully as he hopped around the meadow, sniffing the sweet-smelling flowers that grew all around him. He loved playing with his friends and telling them stories about the magical places he visited in his dreams. One sunny morning, as Leo was frolicking with his best friends, a wise old owl named Sophie and a clever fox named Chester, they came across an unusual sight. A shiny, shimmering bubble hovered just above the grass, sparkling and glowing in the morning sun. "What's that, Leo?" Sophie asked, her big eyes wide with curiosity. Leo hopped closer, his whiskers twitching with excitement. "I think it's a magic bubble," he exclaimed. "I saw one in my dreams once." Chester, with his bushy red tail wagging, walked around the bubble thoughtfully. Can it really be magic? Maybe it's a portal to another world, he guessed, his eyes glinting with mischief. Suddenly, with a playful bounce, Leo touched the bubble gently with his paw, and it began to grow, enveloping him in its sparkling light. Leo, cried Sophie and Chester in unison, worried about their friend. But Leo felt nothing but wonder. Inside the bubble, everything was peaceful and bright, colors swirled around him, and he felt lighter than air. The bubble spoke to him gently. Now it's my turn to live in the real world. Leo's eyes widened. But what does that mean? He asked softly, unsure of the bubble's intentions. You bring magic with your stories, Leo, the bubble whispered. I want to experience your world firsthand. With a gentle whoosh, Leo found himself back in the meadow. But something was different. The bubble was now a shimmering, playful spirit, dancing among the daisies. Thank you, Leo, it chimed, giggling with joy. Sophie and Chester watched in awe, their hearts filled with delight at the new magical friend exploring the meadow with them. From that day forward, Leo's meadow wasn't just a home to furry friends, but a playground for magic and dreams. Once upon a time, in a small and quaint village, there lived a lively little boy named Leo. Leo had bright eyes that sparkled with curiosity and a heart full of adventure. One sunny morning, while playing hide-and-seek in the attic of his old house, Leo stumbled upon a dusty and ornate mirror. It was unlike any mirror he had ever seen, with intricate designs of ivy and tiny faces etched along its golden frame. Leo, intrigued by his discovery, gave it a curious tap. Suddenly, the mirror shimmered, and Leo saw something extraordinary. Instead of his reflection, another version of himself appeared, but there was something mischievous in this reflection's grin. Hello, Leo, spoke the reflection, its voice echoing as though bouncing off invisible walls. Want to play a game? Without waiting for a reply, the reflection began to pull Leo closer, as if inviting him into its glassy world. Leo felt a strange tug at his core, like being drawn towards a whirlwind. Realizing he was being pulled into the mirror, Leo panicked. No, thank you. I'm happy here, he exclaimed. But the reflection's grip was strong. As Leo's hand touched the cool, smooth surface of the glass, his heart raced. He remembered the wise words of his grandmother, who always warned him about the attic's secrets. Trust in your courage and wit, she would always say. With a sudden burst of bravery, Leo quickly thought of a plan. He glanced around and grabbed a shining silver spoon from an old box nearby. Holding it up, he showed it to the mischievous reflection. The reflection paused, confused by its shiny twin in Leo's hand. In that moment of hesitation, Leo managed to pull back, feeling the reflection's grip loosen. Using all his strength, he yanked his arm away from the mirror. To his relief, Leo fell back onto the wooden attic floor, panting and trembling but free from the mirror's grasp. The reflection, now just a normal reflection again, looked back at him with wide eyes, its mischief replaced by a sense of defeat. Leo could see a tiny smirk of respect before the mirror returned to its ordinary, silent state. Leo learned a valuable lesson that day. Never let curiosity lead him too far, and always keep a shiny object handy just in case. With a new tale to tell, Leo hurried downstairs, looking forward to an adventure he could safely watch from the other side of the mirror.